Alright, this is part 7 of my guide on civilizations in Civilization 5. We're on Babylon. Babylon is tier 1, so they're at the top tier. Yeah, they have an avoid tundra start bias, which is amazing. Basically avoid the worst tile in the worst terrain in the game. They get science bonuses, which is why they're so powerful. Their unique ability: receive free great scientist when you discover writing. That is great because it is a free scientist. It doesn't push back the amount of points you need for your next great scientist or great merchant or great engineer. And writing is an early tech. It's an ancient era tech. So this is a very early free great scientist, which is great, amazing. You build it if you want to use that to build an academy, and you'll double your science output at this early stage in the game. It's insanely good. Then the second part of their unique ability is also amazing. Earn great scientists 50% faster. This means you get great scientists more. You get more great scientists than anyone else. Maybe you want to use the first few of these for academies, but you also want to save a bunch for later in the game when you're gonna bulb all these science techs to help you win. And basically, you'll have more great scientists to do that with than everyone else. So, Babylon is awesome. It's one of my favorite civs. And then, their unique unit, Bowman, replaces the Archer. So it's one of the earliest ranged units. It's just a stronger Archer. It has 9 range strength, while the Archer has 7. It has 7 defensive combat strength, while the Archer has 5. At this early stage of the game, you're likely only going to be fighting barbarians, so that makes the bowman useful for fighting barbarians. However, if someone is being a wonder hog, and you might declare war on them pretty early. Or you might just declare war on them pretty early because they might be playing as a good empire like Persia or Korea or Babylon. But the bowman will help you with your early wars then. Moving on to Walls of Babylon. Replaces the walls. The walls of Babylon are cheaper to produce than the normal walls, and the normal walls increase your city's attack strength by 5, while the walls of Babylon increase this by 6. And the normal walls improve your city's health by 50 HP. The walls of Babylon increases your city's health by 100. That's double what the walls give you. So basically, the walls of Babylon help your cities be extremely defensive and powerful. Definitely make walls worth getting. Moving on to Japan. Japan is tier 4, so low tier. They have a coastal star bias. Units fight as though they were at full strength even when damaged. That's okay. When a unit is damaged, it will normally do us a percentage less than it would if it was at full health. I'm not completely sure how the math works behind this, but I watched some other videos and they said that this ability is not that strong. I'm sorry I can't give you all the information, but yeah, it's just It's not a strong ability. And then +1 culture from each fishing boat and +2 culture from each atoll. That's not that good because, first of all, it's a low amount of culture. Second, sea resources aren't the most common to come by, and atolls are not the most common to come by. Luckily, Japan does have a coastal start bias, so you're bound to have some fishing boats, maybe atolls. But still, it's not a whole lot of culture. And then the samurai replaces the long swordsman. The long swordsman is a unit you should never build because it's an awful unit. Samurai is better, but not a whole lot. It starts at the Shock 1 promotion, meaning it's stronger in open terrain, and it gives points to producing great generals through combat. They can be used to build fishing boats without the consumption of the samurai. So that sort of helps over here, but you're using samurais for war, most likely if you're playing as Japan, or you already have fishing boats built. So that's not a big deal. They can't use this ability on offshore oil resources, which is a shame. Then Zero replaces the fighter. Unlike the fighter, the Zero has a combat strength bonus against other fighters. The best part about the Zero is that it requires no oil, so you can just spam these things. Yeah, that's about it for Japan. The Maya. The Maya are tier 2 in my opinion. They have no start bias. Their unique ability: after researching theology, receive a bonus great person at the end of every Maya long calendar count every 394 years. And each bonus person can be chosen once. That is pretty good. That's like I was reading somewhere it's anywhere between 10 to 20 turns that you get a free great person. Yeah, it's pretty good, but you only can choose each great person once. And then yeah, so that's just free great people. The Atlat list replaces the Archer. The only difference between the Atlat list and the Archer, the Atlat list is happens to come one tech earlier than the Archer does, so you unlock them from agriculture right away in the beginning. That is great. It's pretty good. It makes archery a little bit more useless, but it's pretty good, I'd say. The pyramid replaces the shrine. The pyramid provides +1 more faith than the shrine, so 2 versus 1, meaning you get to your pantheon faster. Pyramids also provide +2 science, which is good for this early stage in the game especially. So yeah, that's pretty. Pyramid's okay. The pyramid's pretty good actually. Moving on to the Inca. The Inca are tier 2 in my opinion. They have hill start bias, which is nice synchronization with their other unique stuff. Units ignore terrain costs when moving into any tile with hills. So basically, they can all move 2 tiles in hills. So no maintenance. So that's pretty good. No maintenance costs for improvements in hills. Half cost everywhere else. That is real nice. It helps you save a whole heck of a lot of money. So any hill improvements are free, and anywhere else is just half the price for maintenance. That's good. The Slinger replaces the Archer. The Slinger is worse than the Archer in my opinion. Has less combat strength, so melee units can kill it faster. The only bonus the slinger has is that it can withdraw before being attacked. So if a melee unit goes to attack the slinger will move back a tile, which could be beneficial or harmful. You can move it off of a hill and onto flatlands, or from flatlands onto a hill. Of course, if the slinger is attacked again the same turn, the attack will succeed. If you're using the slinger for defense, that could be good, because the Inca have a hill start bias. So if the unit attacks you, you can withdraw into your hills, and then you're just stronger. And then the terrace farm. The terrace farm can only be built on hills, but doesn't require freshwater access. Unlike the normal farm, the terrace farm is basically a farm that can be built on hills. It provides +1 food, but also provides +1 food for every adjacent mountain. So you want to build these things by mountains. And basically it helps the Inca grow faster and better in hills than other empires would. So it's pretty good. Next up is Brazil. Brazil is tier 4 in my opinion. They have a jungle start bias, which is detrimental. Jungle takes a long time to chop down, so you won't have any improved tiles until you chop them down, and that might take a while. Then their unique ability, tourism output is +100%, so doubled during the Golden Ages. That's good for cultural victories, but you need to have a Golden Age going. Earn great artists, great musicians, and great writers 50% faster during the Golden Ages. Again, you need to have a Golden Age going in order for that to work, and it's also nice for cultural victories. The Prakinha is not that good. The Prakinha replaces the infantry. It earns Golden Age points when defeating an enemy. This syncs up nicely with Brazil's ability, but the amount of Golden Age points earned is a small amount, and it doesn't make much of a difference. So, yeah, and especially at this late stage in the game when you have Prakinhas. So, Golden Ages cost a lot of points then in the late game because you've already had several, and it just takes too long and there's not enough points to make a difference. So yeah, that's all that they give. The Brazil wood camp can only be built in jungles, and it provides +2 gold, and after researching acoustics, the Brazil wood camp also provides +2 culture. The Brazil wood camp is not bad. It just means you have to save your jungles for later when you can build it, which isn't always a good thing. But jungle tiles have a natural output of 2 food. After rebuilding a university in a city, every jungle in a city provides +2 science. So build a Brazil wood and camp on top of that means that the tile will yield +2 gold, +2 culture, +2 food, and +2 science. And it doesn't come until the mid game though, and jungles are usually cut down fairly early in the game, hopefully. So yeah, that's Brazil. And then the Shoshone. The Shoshone are tier 2 civ. They have no start bias. The founded cities start with additional territory. That's pretty good. You don't have to wait to get more tiles in the cities, and the tiles that are the additional territory, or the tiles that you start out with, are usually good tiles that are resources that you would have had eventually anyway, hopefully. So it's quite good, because it means you don't have to spend money to get tiles. You don't have to wait a while to get the new tiles. You just have them. And units receive a combat bonus when fighting within their own territory. That's a +15% bonus. This is good for defending your large amount of land that you're bound to have with the Shoshone. So yeah, it's pretty good. The Pathfinder is what makes the Shoshone really good, though. It has the same strength as a warrior. It replaces the scout, but it has the same strength as the warrior. It has the same movement capabilities and can always move 2 tiles like the scout can. The Pathfinder, however, is just as expensive as a warrior, so it takes longer to produce them than the normal scout. But the thing about the Pathfinder is that it gets to choose what benefit it gets from discovering an ancient ruin, and that's amazing. You can choose whether you get culture, you can choose whether you have an increased population, you can choose advanced weaponry. I think you can choose advanced tech. I'm not sure if you could choose advanced faith. I mean faith. That's a little bit more of a rare ancient ruin. Yeah, so that's real good for early game. Then the Comanche Riders replaces the cavalry. It has 1 more movement point than the cavalry, 5 versus 4, and is cheaper to produce than the cavalry. So the Shoshone can produce Comanche Riders quite quickly. They can move efficiently. So yeah, I'm gonna call that it for part 7. Thanks for watching, and see you in the next part of this guide.